Hey guys, it's Leech, and today I just wanted to talk about Tears of the Kingdom. I have seen so many videos. It's flooding my YouTube feed. There are so many Tears of the Kingdom videos that I figured I'd make my own. Why not? This game looks like it's gonna explode. There's so much hype surrounding this game. I haven't seen this much hype since the launch of the Switch, since Breath of the Wild, since Super Smash Brothers. Like this is gonna be a big event, and I feel like it's gonna be a milestone too. I think that this is gonna be with all the Ouroboros symbology and all of that stuff. I think that this is going to be the closing of the timeline, and maybe from here on out, Zelda will be able to move away from that aspect of its gameplay. No more timeline stuff. So maybe this is them pressing the escape button, and they'll be able to do more with the series. I mean, Breath of the Wild, that's kind of what they were doing, anyways, right? They were trying to do more with the series. It abandoned traditional conventions, which is kind of funny to say because really it just went back to its roots, right? It went back to that NES era exploration. Personally, I don't. Some are gonna hate me for this, but I don't think it's that great. Honestly, Breath of the Wild is a great game. Don't get me wrong. I don't think it's the greatest Zelda. It really isn't. I'm of the era. It's probably mostly nostalgia, but I'm of the era, like the first 3D titles: Ocarina of Time, Majora's Mask, Wind Waker, Twilight Princess, Skyward Sword, all that stuff. Like that's my era. And I could see a small subsection of the fan base being like OG fans since then, like people who were kids when The Legend of Zelda for the Nintendo Entertainment System came out. Now, they might appreciate that a bit more. That might be more important to them. And nostalgia is most likely a factor, like on both sides, for me as well with the 3D titles. It's just not my thing. I think Zelda is at its best with a strong linear story. I think story first and clever dungeons, that kind of stuff. I'm hoping that Tears of the Kingdom might be more of a return to form. I think Breath of the Wild honestly could have been the perfect Zelda game had we had traditional dungeons, traditional boss fights, things that the game is known for now. Going back to your roots, it's great. And honestly, it probably is a good thing. I think the series is better off with Breath of the Wild's existence. Maybe it was needed to refresh everything. I mean, it kind of becomes a slog when you've got 15 plus years of sort of the same game, right? The same strong linear narrative. They needed to switch it up. So it's probably for the best. It probably made the series stronger. Now, with Tears of the Kingdom, I'm hoping it's a return to form. I'm hoping massive, complicated dungeons. I want to be lost in a dungeon for a few hours. That's Zelda to me. I want to have an epic boss fight. I want to fight something insane. Maybe not like the dude from Skyward Sword who looked like he belonged on Yo Gabba Gabba. Let's not do that again. But the Blight Ganons, they did look pretty cool. But those should have been like mini bosses in a larger dungeon. Anyways, I guess the broader point I was making was that I think Breath of the Wild really could have been the best game if they had had strong dungeons, strong boss fights. The shrines were okay. Like what they did wasn't bad. But, to go back to Tears of the Kingdom, we have two camps of people, okay? We have one camp of people that say this should have been DLC. This is an expansion. Um, I guess people were hoping for more. They were hoping for, higher resolution graphics, better frame rates and stuff. But keep in mind, we're on the same hardware. This is the same Switch from 2015, which, the way I understand it, the hardware was dated to begin with when it came out. Nintendo has kind of abandoned speed and power. That's never their gig anymore. They just want reliable consoles. The other camp of people are claiming that this is like the holy grail of coding achievements, and I don't quite understand that. To me, as like just regular Joe consumer, doesn't look that crazy, you know. But hey, you got people tweeting about how AAA developers should be embarrassed by this, and that's cool. I'm excited. I want to see what that's about. So, for the camp of people that say this does need to be DLC, like, let's be honest, we have no more runes, an entirely new set of mechanics with the Ultra Hand, with Ascend, all that stuff. In my opinion, good riddance. The runes are tired. Let's swap that with something else. We still have our stamina wheel. I think that was a really strong aspect of Breath of the Wild and Skyward Sword. It's a really good mechanic for the game, especially with Breath of the Wild's climbing. We have the Zonai, we have the Sky Islands, the Master Sword is broken. Like, this is unprecedented. This doesn't happen. Oh, and Ganon, like Ganondorf, not some evil spider robot that's holed up in the castle. Like, Ganon is back, and that's really strong. It's nice to see him, because that was, they failed hard with that ending, right? That was kind of disappointing. I feel like most people were disappointed with that, and for the people who are still trying to say this is DLC, like, oh no, it's a sequel. What do you expect? Of course, we're still in the same Hyrule. Like, we can't go somewhere else. We can't pull a Majora's Mask again. If they had dropped a game and Link went out into the woods and fell in a hole and woke up somewhere else, if they did that again or anything like that, no, the fan base would be up in arms. Like, that's insane. So I don't really know what people were expecting. And again, we're running on the same hardware, so like, you weren't going to get a massive visual improvement. I think one thing people need to take into account is that now they've had, what, 10 years of development in this engine? It took them, I think, 5 years to make Breath of the Wild, and that came out 6 years ago. So like, they've had 10 or 11 years to develop this game on this engine. And I'm sure we are going to see the optimizations. I'm sure it is going to run better. There's no way it won't. Really, there isn't. There isn't a way it won't. It's gonna run better. As far as like the new mechanics, like, I think the fusion thing could be super interesting. There's a ton of potential behind that one single thing. Although, like, personally, all I can think about when I see the vehicles is Banjo Kazooie Nuts and Bolts. Like the franchise killing game from last decade. Yeah, not a good look. I don't like that. Again, I'm traditional kind of Zelda guy. I want to know what's up with that sword. Like, what's up with the sword, right? What is going on there? What's up with the sword? What's up with the hand? What's up with the goddess? We were seeing hieroglyphs of the goddess. Where is this all going? I'm super excited about this. And, I guess we'll just have to wait. What are we, 37 days out? 36 days out? Something like that? We'll just have to wait. A little over a month. All right, guys. Well, I guess I'm going to get out. Feel free to like and subscribe, dislike, comment. Let's have a discussion about it. Let me know your thoughts and opinions on Tears of the Kingdom.